night to you then. Where is your country? If it's night, I'm guessing somewhere on the other side of the world, I guess, like China or something like that. Just a little bit. Turn my fan on. I just get too hot. Oh, Korea, nice. Good night to Korea. What's the weather like in Korea right now? I'm in Texas and it's hot. It's like 100 degrees every day. And at night, I think last night it got down to like 75. That's as low as it gets this time of year. Oh, it's hot. Sorry to hear that. It's not fun. So I'm just doing my warm-ups. I'll probably be doing them for maybe like 15 more minutes. Takes a little while. I do them most every day. I mean, usually every day. Only every once in a while, I'll just be like, I'm not doing them today. Like once a month. Every other day I do them every day. And I never used to do the same thing every day, and now I always do. It's kind of weird. I used to do something different. It's funny how that works. Okay, my pinky nail sounds like halfway decent today. I usually can't get it right. But it almost sounds like a normal finger. Like you can barely tell that it's like not a normal finger. That's usually my thumb warm up for the day. Gets the juices flowing. to do a bunch of stuff that's mainly for left hand. Because I don't like my left hand sometimes. It needs help. Hey, thanks. My teacher showed me that stretching exercise. And I remember when he showed it to me, I was like, how is that possible? And I like had to do something like this, but you get used to it over the years. So I like it. I have to do. I like to warm up with like horizontal stretching like that, and then here in a bit I'll do some vertical stretching. All kinds of stretching. Stretching for me is always an issue. Always, always, always. People that have really big hands and long fingers, ugh, they just have no idea. They'll never know. They won't know what it's like. But it's like a guitar thing. Nobody thinks they have good hands. I was just talking to one of my friends, and he was showing me these pieces he's playing by Augustin Barrios. And if you ever played Barrios's pieces, they're hard. Okay, and they have a ton of stretching. So he's doing all this stretching, and then he's like, "Man, if I only had big hands." And I was just like, "Bro, come on." So I held my hand up to his, and it was like this, and he was like, "See, my hands aren't even big," and I was just like, "Okay, well." I forget what it was, but nobody thinks they have big hands. But I'm no exception. I don't have big hands. And then people with long fingers, they also like to say, "Well, it doesn't play the note for you." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know, but it's much easier to do this, just put your finger down, than it is to do this and then put your finger down. Like, this is easier." So, yes, it is an advantage. But like John Williams says he doesn't have big hands, whatever. Julian Bream said his hands were awful. I mean, come on. It's just a thing that people do. This is my other stretching exercise. This is the, well, I guess this would be vertical. I guess to call this horizontal and this vertical. I don't know. It also doubles as free stroke for this hand. Lovely sounding exercise too. So I'm sure if you're joining right now, you're like, "Oh man, that guy sounds great. Beautiful. Oh, I want to keep watching. I'm not about to click on something else immediately. No way." But this is really important for me to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. Almost done. This type of movement with the left hand, I never once did this in my life until I played classical guitar. In the electric guitar I used to play, nobody ever did that, ever. Like this stuff. So I used to think it was like impossible. Okay, usually I do this scale exercise, the snake, but I did it 3 times yesterday, so I'm not going to do it today. But I will just play a couple of scales. What's up, David? My life is going alright, man. Really can't complain. How about yourself? What's something I was doing like recently? I forgot what it is. How did that go? It was like this. I don't think that was it. It was something like that. I don't remember. I have to look it up because it was all friendly string crossings. play my favorite music. Well, kind of. I'm working on a program right now, and it does contain some of my favorite music, so it's what I'm going to play today, actually. So yes, I can. I'm working on a program that's made up of music that my teacher wrote, because he just passed away in January, and I miss him a lot. Think about him all the time. So I'm putting together a program. I'm going to do, I think, like an online concert where I play all his music. So that's what I've been working on. And it is some of my favorite music, so. I might have to play it kind of slow because, like, I can play it all. It's just not super comfortable, so I think what I need to do is kind of play it a little slow and just kind of make sure I'm taking care of everything. That's kind of where the music is, so. But I'll start with one of these pieces that it's, you know, people that have heard his music, it's usually one of their favorite pieces. It's a really pretty piece. It's just called Ballade. But it's very pretty. Pretty. Oh, my eye itches. Ugh. That's not in the music. Scratch your eye for 10 seconds and then continue. That's not in the music. Pretty piece. It's going. It's in better shape than I thought. There's a couple things I'm gonna go back and work on though. Yeah, sexy piece for sure. You know what's cool about that is it actually has really crunchy harmonies. I mean, you wouldn't think that sounds pretty, but the way that he resolves them. It makes it. It makes it sound pretty, so that's really interesting. How long have I been playing? I've been playing guitar for like 24 years. I've been playing classical for, I'm not sure, I think 11 or 12. So I played electric for a long time, since I was about 14. And then when I got into college, I was in my early 20s, like 23, 24, something like that. Maybe 25. Then I started classical. So, and I've been playing pretty much classical since then. I love it, and you don't have time for everything. I still love electric guitar. I just mainly listen to it these days. I don't really play it. Hey, Bubby. What are you doing? My cat Chappie just came in. Hey. Stream? No, you don't want to. You want to take a nap? Yeah, I bet. No. It is a long time. Classical guitar takes a long time, unless you're just super talented, which some people are. It might take them a few years, but if you're not, like me, then yeah, 10, 12, 15 years, I would say. What do I like about guitar? That's a great question. I like the improvement. I like the experimentation. And with classical guitar, it's like there's always something else to find. And it's not really for other people. Because, other people aren't really picky about what you do like you are. But, like, I'm working this passage and trying to decide like what kind of strokes will work up here. And it's like they're really not that different, but to me it's like, well, they are different, so it's kind of a big deal. Which one do you prefer, and then which one can you do? So deciding on all those little details, I just really like that. And I think it does come across to people as like, oh, that sounded nice, but not because they're like, oh, did you hear he did a chord with free strokes and then he did 2 rest strokes on top and then did free strokes? Like, no. But it's just for you, and I like that. I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. And I just love these guitars, handmade classical guitars. I just think they're some of the most sensitive instruments in the world. So I never get bored experimenting with them. My teacher, when he died, he was 79 years old, and he said he still was learning things from the guitar like every week. So that kind of tells me, and he was absolutely brilliant, more brilliant than I'll ever be. So that kind of tells me there's always going to be stuff to find. But I have a lot of friends that play guitar, but when I talk about this kind of stuff with them, their eyes glaze over in like 5 seconds, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll stop talking then if it's boring. But it's what I really love about the guitar. And I like to work. Playing the guitar is work. Especially when you play it as long as I have, and you're trying to play things a certain way. It's work, and I like work. Harmonica, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? Why couldn't they work together? So. How long have you been playing harmonica? Yeah, there's so much you can learn on YouTube, I mean, for sure. But I will say, there's no substitute for learning from a human being. I mean, if you have a good teacher, they can teach you things you can't learn anywhere else. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn a ton of stuff online. When I, sometimes I teach people and they're like, well, I've looked at all this online instructional material and I just can't make any progress. And it's not really the material. I know there's a bunch of crap fake guitarists out there, but there's also a bunch of great guitarists out there too that have courses and free videos and stuff. I mean, you can find so much information, but for some people it's just hard for them to just to learn to sit down and do the work. They want to do something, but I don't know, do they want to do it? I think maybe they think they want to do it. But then when you kind of learn what it entails, your brain's kind of like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's just like, what if you could do this, but you have to practice for 5 years? Okay, you still want to do it? Most people would be like, oh, no, screw that. And I'm like that with other things, because you don't have time for everything, but just not the guitar. If you tell me, like, you can do this, and you have to practice it every morning for 2 hours for 5 years, I'm like, okay. That's all right. Mr. Nihilus, good day to you. I regret opening YouTube. You regret opening YouTube? Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. That's really cool. I'm thinking about maybe like streaming more, so hopefully I can see you again. I'm just shy. That's why I don't stream. Oh, dude, that is awesome, David. That's so cool. I love to hear people studying musical instrument and it has amazing benefits like that. That's so awesome. So I admire you for that, sir. What's up, Shrimp? I like that name. How many guitars do I have? I have a lot of guitars. I have a few nice guitars, and then a few electrics that are kind of cheap, and then a few, like a guitar that I teach on that's kind of cheap. I have that acoustic bass thing that I got on sale at Guitar Center. that was just kind of an impulse buy. I probably shouldn't have bought it, but it's kind of neat to mess around on. So yeah, I got a few guitars. Okay, I want to play the middle section again. I actually just got this guitar like a few weeks ago. It's a Japanese maker named Sakurai Kono, and I wasn't planning on getting a guitar, but I was playing it, and I just kind of fell in love with it, so I had to get it. So I think I'm gonna sell one. Anybody want a classical guitar for a good deal? Not cheap, but a good deal nonetheless. Mr. Nihilist. Right now, I would say this is my favorite guitar. This Japanese guitar. Don't tell my other guitars. Before that, I had a favorite. It's a really nice Spanish guitar made by a guy named Mariano Tesanos, who he passed away a few years ago, so he's not making guitars anymore. But this one, I think, has become my new favorite. I gotta say. So I just I think it does some things that other guitar doesn't do, but it doesn't really have any weaknesses. There's some difference going on in the bracing, like some additions, and sometimes when you mess with that, like the guitar starts to be wimpy, like it can't take. It might ring longer or something like that, but it can't take the energy. It kind of starts to crumple, but not this guitar though. This guitar, it likes the energy. And the tone of voice was a little different. Like I had to kind of get used to it. But then it just started to sound like really pristine to me. So I would say it's this Kono guitar. Kono is Konho. I think is how you spell it. Konho. Konho. Let me double check that. Konho. Konho. I'm a total Konho now. Yeah. No, I had it backwards. Kohno. Kono. But I am a Kono ho. And I got a really good deal on it, so thanks, Mr. Nihilist, man. Hope you have a good one. Thank you. I agree. I've had so much fun spending time with this guitar. Sounds good, Mr. Nihilist. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see if I can do this now. It's alright. I'll take it. I gotta say, when you practice something for like 30 minutes and then you just give it a go and you screw it up, it's just like, well, dang it. All that hard work. But it happens sometimes. I also thought about doing it like this. He didn't do that, but I think it sounds kind of cool. I mean, that sounds great, but I don't know. Maybe too much. Maybe too much. Okay, I'm gonna play the next piece by my teacher. It's called Toccata, but I'm gonna play kind of slow. It's hard to do though. That shape is what's hard. I think it's this finger because it's far away and then it has to go back. Just get it back. The name of this piece, David, is Toccata, is what it's called, written also by my teacher. He said it's meant to imitate like a steel drum band. He heard a steel drum band, and that's what it's inspired by, which is pretty cool. You can definitely hear it, I think, if you're thinking that. Especially this part, you can just see someone doing that. I'm actually only in the beginning of the piece. I got hung up. I got hung up playing it crappy, so I had to work on it. Where was that? What's hard about this piece is he plays it real fast. So I can't play that fast. Well, this is his song, so I don't need to. I'll just play his. But I do hope he'd be proud of the way I play it. I think he would be. He said pretty nice things to me. You know, after I studied with him for like 6 years, he didn't always say nice things to me. Man, I have stories about that too. You know what I would like to finish though is he told me one time, he said, you know, I have like many notebooks at my house filled with original musical ideas, like filled from start to finish with unfinished musical ideas. And so what I would love to do is have those, either the books or just copies of them, and find some ideas and like try and finish them, like make a piece out of them. I think that would be a fun, challenging thing to do, and it would be really cool. But I don't think I'll ever see those notebooks. But I would definitely like to do that. I write music all the time, and I play all of his other music, so I would certainly love to give that a go. So who knows, maybe one day. Man, I am trying to carry on his legacy. Um, he was he was an amazing musician, but he treated people so well. I've never known someone that was as brilliant as him that like wasn't a total asshole. You know, because brilliant people can do whatever they want because they can get away with it, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're brilliant," you know. And he just like he treated people with so much respect that um, it was just unbelievable. So I learned quite a lot from him, and some of it really has nothing to do with playing the guitar. And he could have been world famous if he wanted. Like, oh man, I can tell you stories. Like, he just did things that did not help his career. That people don't make the decisions that he made. When he was coming up, I mean, everybody knew who he was, and he just didn't. He didn't do anything that he didn't think was the right thing to do. So it's really amazing, and especially in this day and age where you're kind of taught like self promotion above everything else. It doesn't really matter what you do. What matters is that you're screaming in people's faces about it and telling them what to do and telling them about yourself and everything. And he was just the antithesis of that. He was about doing work and appreciating art. So I do try to carry on that legacy because I think you just don't find people like that these days. Okay, so, alright. Like, I would love to be able to play the guitar the way that he could, but I know for sure I can treat people the way that he did. So I try and do that. Meet each other? That's a cool question. I got my well, eventually I made my way to college. I didn't go to college out of high school. I worked several different jobs and just kind of screwed around. And then finally I went to some community college, and then I got into a music school. Started doing classical guitar, ended up getting my undergraduate in classical guitar, and then I was studying with a guy who knew my teacher. His name was Mr. Guthrie, and so he said, you should go audition for this guy to do your master's. So I did. We got along well. He accepted me. I was playing like total garbage, but he must have seen something. And then I got into his program, and I got 2 degrees with him, and I really learned to listen to him. And then we just we would just hang out a lot, even after I wasn't in school anymore. So all the way up until he got sick and he was in the hospital for a couple months, and then he passed away. So really, I just got lucky. It's like that's how I met him. I'm very fortunate. It is kind of crazy how it worked out because I was gonna go audition somewhere else too, but when I tried to sign up for my audition, it like didn't go through somehow, and so I never got a date from them when to come down and audition. And I emailed the teacher about it, and he was like, "Well, you never signed up, so like you're out. Like, sorry. Try again next year." So I was like, "Okay, I hope I get into Mr. Guthrie's program," and then I did. So. Well, I think about him. One of the things he was so great at, I just think he could size people up real quick. Like, I think you could come into a studio. I mean, he'd been doing this for decades and decades. So I think you could come into a studio, he could talk to you for a little bit, hear you play for like 10 minutes, and he would have a really good idea of what type of person you were. Like, if he was going to get along with you. He really didn't take people that he didn't feel like he could get along with. And he wouldn't be mean to them. He just wouldn't give them scholarship. so they would end up going somewhere else. I know one guy who ended up getting a degree with him, and he didn't get scholarship, and the guy just didn't listen to him at all. So I don't really know what he was doing there. But Mr. Guthrie was always very nice to him. He did his best. But he did tell me, he was just like, after one lesson, he said, I think we came to mutual understanding where he was going to do his thing, and it didn't matter what I said. So I don't know what he was doing there, but that's just how he would handle something like that. He would just let people have it. I mean, he would let people do their thing. But he didn't. In classical guitar programs, pretty much they take the best players. Like, if there are 20 people auditioning and they have 5 spots, they take the 5 players that played the best during their audition. Like, that's normal. That's what everybody does. But Mr. Guthrie doesn't do that. So I don't know exactly what his criteria was, but it was something different. Because if that was the case, I would not have been accepted. Like, I didn't know crap about classical guitar at that point. I was playing like trash. And so he had some other criteria, Maybe he thought I was handsome. Me too, David. You know what? I've done a bunch of stupid things in my life, and I used to just think like, oh, they were mistakes. But I realized if I hadn't have done all those stupid things, like, I wouldn't have ended up on a path where my life path intersected with Mr. Guthrie's. So that's pretty amazing, I think. I think that's God at work, even when you don't know. So I think that's really pretty amazing. Like, all that stuff has a purpose. Yeah, definitely. Definitely more than skill. Also, he was just really big on artistry. Like this. If you could play on an extremely high level, he would just seem irritated if you did that, but he felt like you didn't have anything to say. And I saw him be hard on people, and he seemed kind of irritated. And it was confusing at the time because I was like, well, this guy just played a piece like perfectly. Why are you irritated? And I think that's what it was. It's like, if you didn't have, if you had something to say, he was easily convinced. But if he felt like you didn't have anything to say and you're doing all this technical stuff, he didn't want to listen to you. That's kind of my interpretation. So there were people that I think played on a very high level that he was just like, you know what? They're kind of doing their thing, and if you got to feel that they weren't in a place to kind of listen to him, then he was probably like, I don't want to hear them play. Because he just put so much into everything that he did, you know. Every sound and every technique, really everything. In the world of classical guitar, it's really not that way. You know, I mean, there are plenty of amazing artists that are very musical, but for like the competitions and stuff, it's just a different kind of playing. It's like it's like you have to have some kind of wow factor, and that is more important than like something that's just nice to listen to. And he would talk about this. He did not encourage people to do competitions because he said you don't want to play like that. And I think that makes sense. If you want to win competitions, you got to play like that. You kind of got to play like an asshole. That's like the only way I can put it. Really in someone's face, aggressive, and just like you feel like the most alpha person in that room. That's my impression. And I just don't think music is that way. Maybe some kinds of music, but I just don't think that's how music is. So it's something else. Now I can't do that, so I'm not. Maybe that's why I feel that way. Maybe if I could do that, I'd be like, yeah, you got to play like you're punching someone in the face. But I can't do that. I don't have a desire to do that, so I want to do different things. Isn't that right, Chappie? Isn't that right? Chappie's my cat. He's over there taking a nap. Yeah, that makes sense to me, David. Makes sense to me. Well, and I had to decide. I mean, I really believe in teaching people. You have to teach them, like, in a way that makes playing the guitar most fulfilling for them. And for most people, statistically, that's not playing at the highest of possible levels. It's just not. So, it is for some people, but most people, it's not that. So, it's like, well, now what? Well, now you have to figure out how you can actually help them. Which is not easy to do. Be able to do this so easy, and like it just feels hard nowadays. What happens? Maybe I got old. Like this is one of the first things I could do on guitar that I thought was like good. Maybe my hand position's changed or something. I agree, man. I think if you want to hear someone play music, like, they need to hear them play something simple, and then see what they can do with it. And then, like, if they have nice ideas there, then it's like, okay, now do something complicated, I guess, if you want. But it's like, I don't feel like you need a bunch of notes. Actually, when I hear a bunch of notes, that just like notes, it sounds to me like someone's talking and just running their mouth and not saying anything that has any weight behind it whatsoever. And so much music sounds like that, especially classical music. It just sounds like motor mouth in a very annoying way. And I'm just thinking, like, I just wish you'd shut up. Like, I wish you'd either stop talking or say something, like, get to the point. Like, you might get to the point 4.5 minutes later, and I'm just like, well, oh my God, it's not about attention span. It's just that I just heard you run your mouth for 4.5 minutes, and I'm sorry, I didn't really think you were going to say anything important. That's how I feel about it. But I like guitar pieces that have like just the right amount of notes, not too many. And then like I like the value of each and every note. I really appreciate that. And like I feel like, okay, when you listen to music, I'm gonna go there. So I'm gonna go to where the music is because I wanna do this. And then you hear notes and like you're pulled with each and every note. So when you get pulled like this, I'm just like, oh my God, will you stop? Like, I have a headache. But then when you just get something and you're like, yeah, okay, that's really interesting. I mean, it's a very different feeling. So. As I'm studying this passage that Mr. Guthrie wrote that has a lot of notes in it, but you know. A hypocrite I am sometimes. But, you know, I think it's like I believe any good music is based on something simple. Like, you could reduce it and break it down to a simple type of structure. Like this is really just this harmony. Is what it is. It's a crunchy flamenco harmony. So it's like if this harmony works in the piece, then it's like, okay, then this is just an embellishment. So if the harmony didn't work in the piece, then I don't think this is going to help. You know? So it's a bunch of notes, but it's based on a simple idea that like has validity. And I think you see that in great music writers throughout history. I think you definitely see that. Yeah, I agree, David. I think if you show off, all you're doing is you're showing off. And I know people like this. They have a lot of ability on the guitar, but when they play, they sound like, I can do this. Now I can do this. Want to hear me do this? Listen to me do this. I'm going to play this piece now. Now I'm going to play this piece. Now, like, that's literally what they sound like. And I'm just kind of like, just stop. Like, tell me what you feel about any of that. Like, any of it, please. I do want to know how you feel. But I don't want to see what you can do. Like, that's kind of different. And I'm not really interested in that. Because it's art. just have to practice for a while. Yeah, and David, earlier you asked what's my favorite thing about guitar. You know, it's that one of the things is like whatever you put in for sound, you get out. And what I think what some people don't realize is when you play, you show everything. And you show everything that you think about your sound. And you either show that you think about it a lot, or you think about it somewhat, or you don't ever really think about it. Like it's obvious in everything that you do. So I really like that, and then I really appreciate people where every sound they make is like super crafted. I mean that's awesome stuff. But it takes a lot of responsibility though, because it doesn't happen by itself. What's up, bro? What are you doing this morning? Yeah, exactly, David. Exactly. Yeah, David, I mean, just like have something to say is all. It really can be anything. It really can be anything. Just something, and if it's important to you, that would be nice, A Target haul? You make a Target haul, Seabass? I haven't been to Target in a while. Did you get any Satan wallets at Target or Satan memorabilia? Some pencils that say Satan on it, or like. Did you hear about that stuff? This is so hard. I used to be able to do this so easy. I don't know. it's coming down is what's hard. Going up feels fine. I think it's coming down. Well, this run goes down and up and down. Come on, Mr. Guthrie. We gotta make me do this. What's the ending? Okay, I'm done playing that for now. What's up, Maddie? Dude, it is like Villalobos, isn't it? Haven't played this one in a while. You know, I do need to actually play some Villalobos, so I think I'm going to play some Villalobos. I have not played it in a while. It'll be a nice change of pace. I always think about Yobon when I play this part, Sebastian. What you told me about Yobon. That part. This actually might get this live stream demonetized. I think I've had other stuff with Villalobos demonetized, which is stupid of them, but I mean, whatever. If you don't let someone else make money off of it, you're not going to make money off of it either. I mean, at least share it. Chord shape is so hard for me. There it is. In the music, it says stop and drink some water. It says stay hydrated. Hey, thanks, Maddie. Appreciate it. Thank you. I work on my sound a lot. I might can play a Bach. Let me finish this piece and then I might can play something by Bach. No promises, but maybe. John Williams, I would play it that way. Hey David, great to talk with you, man. Take care, man. You got some cool things to say. Enjoy playing the harmonica. Maddie, I will try and play Bach piece just for you. The last time I played it is question mark. I don't know. Let me see. As far as I can get. I haven't played that piece in a long time. So. Anyway, I got stuff I could work on regardless. I gave it my best, Maddie, sorry. Bach music is hard, man. I pretty much stay away from it, to be honest. I'm just not cut out for it. I've taught someone that prelude, so I learned that one, but man, this music is hard. So I appreciate it, but I'd rather hear someone else play it. Can I play my own music? I guess so. Let me finish this piece. Here's one piece I can play. Because I want to record it, so. So I can play a piece. It's called Dance Number 5. Numero 5. It's part of a set of pieces I wrote called 5 Song and Dances. And I've recorded 4 songs and dances in one song. So this is the last one I need to record. And the reason why I haven't recorded it is there is a scale in the middle of it. And what will probably happen is you will hear the scale and you will hear me screw it up. That's what's holding me back from recording it. I always get a nice case of snagitis when I'm trying to do that scale. So, and it happens not once but twice. So that's why I haven't recorded it. But I have to back up a little bit because it's kind of rowdy. I don't want to peek. In fact, I need to check that. Check. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I'm back up a little bit more. Okay, that seems better. That's dance number 5. If I could only play that scale, I could record it. Hey, thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Seabass. Thanks, Maddie. Appreciate that, man. Thanks, bro. I just need to learn this scale. I can play it. It's just I'm out of scale steroids. You know, I ran out. My guy, he's empty, so I'm not. As soon as I can re-up, I'll be good to go. I don't think it's that hard. I just can't do it. I've done this so much. But like doing it in the middle of the piece is just so hard. Yeah, it is kind of like that, huh? I'm in G. I'm sure I was kind of thinking that, like when you write music, you just kind of, you're thinking of something and you don't even realize it. Mr. Guthrie, Seabass, said he thought like a great scale technique was like the hardest scale technique. I mean, he thought a great scale technique was the hardest technique. What do you think? I've never heard anyone say that except him. I know, right? Me too. Play something else. Yeah, man, like I can play scales for like 30-45 minutes and then I'm thinking like, man, my scales sound good. But then playing a scale in the middle of the piece is a different thing entirely. Like that does not mean I know how to play it like on the spot in the middle of a piece from something else and then to something else. It's a different thing. good nap? Yeah? It's a good nap? Honey. Come on. Come on. kind of slow. Thanks, bro. I'm gonna play it one more time. Is this the Phillips chord? It is! That dang chord! That's why it's so hard. I hate this chord. I can't play it. I was like, why am I messing this up? This is that same dang chord. It's finding me. Trying to get my A finger to relax when I do tremolo, and it doesn't want to. It wants to swipe unless I go real slow and pay real lots of attention. Extra special attention. not an easy piece. Not easy peasy.
No, sir. No, sir, it's not.
Oh, I need to play this one. Yesterday I was just like screwing this piece up real bad. Hey Tony. Me too, man. I find tremolo absolutely difficult in all circumstances. There's just like so much that can go wrong. And people that can play great tremolo, it's really amazing. But I think it's great for technique, you know. I figure as much work as you can do on it, you know, it'll help the way that you sound, even if you never have like a great tremolo. You know, we can't all be David Russell. Do you play any tremolo pieces, Tony? Recuerdos is a great piece, man. Yeah. I think it does a lot for your technique. It's always been a difficult piece for me, though. My teacher said that Recuerdos was one of the easiest tremolo pieces, and I just thought, oh god. I mean, then I don't want to play any of the other ones, so. For me, I consider it a difficult technique. But I like to work on it. Every once in a while, I'll get obsessed with tremolo, and I mostly practice tremolo, like all the time. So it's fun to practice. And you know, working on every finger being loud and even, I mean, that's great stuff. Man, I feel you, Tony. I feel like it takes a long time, like years. I don't know, maybe not for some people, but I don't want to tell you how many years I've been practicing tremolo. It's just, it's a hard technique. But very rewarding, you know. And like people that like guitar music, they always like that sound. You know, people who are not like actually listening to how the tremolo is going like guitarists would be, they just enjoy the sound. Micro phrases, yeah, man, that's good stuff. Is this chord? I don't remember the last chord. Yeah, and I practice it just really slow. Which is hard because like you want to speed up, but to not let yourself is hard. Or you could just do what Matt Palmer does and play it like at practice tempo performance. He plays it super. He might play it. I don't think he even plays it that fast. It's like it's literally like this, and he plays the whole thing. Takes all the repeats and everything. It's like 8 minutes. but it's like perfect. Like it is like razor sharp. Every note is perfect. So I kind of feel like he's trying to make a point. What's up, Yusuf? I've been alright. How are you doing? Decided to do some streaming. Well, I've only got a few minutes left. Yeah, Tony, it's hard not to speed up, especially if you're practicing it slow and you're like, yeah, this is going good. Then you just want to let it fly and like forget about everything that you just learned. That's my tendency anyway. So. I'm thinking out loud. I forgot this chord. That's it. That's the chord. Can you play Asturias, Yusuf? Not really. No, not really. I can't. I can play the beginning. I used to could. I used to could play it. Told you. I would actually like to relearn this piece. I just don't have time for everything. I really like the B section. What is this chord? Close enough. Oh, I don't know what comes next. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna say I'm out. But can you play Asturias, Yusuf? I really love the B section of Asturias. Like, I don't even remember really it, except for that. But I think the B section is awesome. Where is it? Yeah. And all those, like, really Spanish. Whatever that is. But those lines are... I think that stuff is really cool. It was really cool. So I like a lot of Albanese music. Do you know other Albanese, Yusuf? Like Granada or like Rumores de Caleta, whatever that one is called, or like Sevilla or Mallorca. Do you know any of those pieces? Man, those pieces are awesome. Yeah, man, Asturias is cool. You know what's cool to do with that piece is you play the intro super duper fast. That's your bass, and then when you get the triplets, so you're like... Like, oh no, I played it too fast. I'm screwed. The first piece I ever played for a classical guitar program was Asturias, and I destroyed it. I mean, in a terrible way. It was awful. I crashed and burned. I had to stop. Like, it was horrible. I'm pretty sure everyone was just like, man, this guy's a moron. And they were right. They were right. I just wouldn't stay a moron forever. Okay, I need to play this piece. And then I'll probably need to go. My shift at the grocery store starts in 30 minutes, you know. Tony, that's hilarious. Hey, just really enjoy that intro, okay? When you're playing that intro, just be like, man, I'm such a badass right now. Sorry, some ads came up. I tried to skip them. Yeah, Tony, just milk that intro, dude. Just be like, I'm so awesome. Just enjoy it. But you will see people do that. I've even seen really good guitarists do that. So, I mean, it's a thing that happens. But I remember when I learned that piece, I had a teacher. It was Matthias Seabass who told me this, and he was like, "Don't do that." He was like, "Be careful." He said, "I've seen so many students do that, where they start it too fast and then they have to really slow down." So he said, "Be careful." So I always thought of the triplets before I would start. I would think like, how fast can those go? And then this ends up feeling a little slow in comparison. But then the triplets, they fit. What was I doing? I don't know. I was here. Oh, thanks, Yusuf. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's a hard piece. I mean, it's a real concert piece. It's really popular, so like a lot of people can play it and play it great. But oh, thanks for the love. Appreciate it. But it doesn't mean it's thanks. It's still coming. It doesn't mean it's like easy. You know, I don't think so. You know, I think the Albani's transcriptions are. I think they're all pretty difficult. I've really not played a lot of them, so I had a friend play Sevilla, and he was like, "Man, that piece is dang hard." He said it's one of the hardest pieces I've ever played. So I don't know. Granada sounds pretty difficult to me, like just the balance, and kind of the orchestration of it to me sounds pretty tough. But yeah, man, Asturias is not easy by any means. But I think it's a great piece for technique. I mean, this stuff. Earlier today, I was working on this very arpeggio because I was playing it in a different piece. but it's the same. It's the same thing. PIM, PIM, PIM. That's a great technique to know. One time, funny story about that. One time when I was in school, my teacher, Mr. Guthrie, there was a undergraduate who was playing Asturias, and he just wasn't doing a very good job. He didn't know the piece very well, and he was really struggling with these arpeggios. They just were sounding really gallopy and not very good. So Mr. Guthrie goes down there and he's like, okay. He's like, I want you to do this. And he started doing it. And so the kid was trying to do it with him, and he was like, now do this. And Mr. Guthrie was just doing it, and the kid was trying to keep up, and he was just like, okay, what you need to do is go home and do that. And he was like, keep doing it. And he goes, keep doing it. He goes, until you get really, really tired. And then he goes, and then do it some more. I don't think the kid ever really got it. So, funny. Good memories. Do I play electric? Not really, man. I really appreciate electric guitar. I'm not one of those classical players that says that like electric guitarists aren't real players, because God, that is not true. Some of my favorite musicians in the world are electric guitarists. It's just kind of like, I'm really into classical, so you don't have time for everything. It's kind of like that. I'll play electric every once in a while, but it just feels so different to me now that I don't think I'll ever be like good at it. So that's why I don't really play it. When I started playing guitar, I was playing electric, and dude, I was totally in the metal. Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Meshuggah, Lamb of God, Children of Bodom, who else? Like Guns N' Roses. I used to read Guns N' Roses lyrics and be like, like get in the ring. I was like, oh. Yeah, Black Label, super into Black Label Society, Zach Wild. And I still love all those bands. Dude, I listen to metal. I listen to metal more than I listen to classical music. I have a great appreciation for classical music, but a lot of it, when I listen to it, it feels like work. It feels academic. So if I'm like in my car, dude, it's Meshuggah, dude. It's Meshuggah. That's what I jam to. Periphery is one of my favorite bands ever. So. Cool, man. Yeah. I don't do that stuff as much these days, but YouTube decided to throw me a big bone and put that Metallica medley in the algorithm. So, thanks, I guess, YouTube. I mean, I'm proud of the piece and all, the arrangement. I'm proud of it, but I'm proud of everything that I put out. I've got another Metallica medley that I've never put out before. It has all like instead of it being like a ballad thing, it's like all heavy parts. this is pretty. How does that part go? Has this part from Dark Lightning. Playing too fast. It's fun to play fast. So maybe I'll record that. I don't know. You know what else I have, Yusuf? I have a massive Rust in Peace medley that has parts from like 7 songs on there, and it's like 9 minutes long, and it's massive, but it's hard as shit to play. I've never actually learned it all because I have Take No Prisoners, and I want to play it fast. I don't want to have to play it slow, and it's fast on the album. But the part that always gets me is this part. I might just have to take it out because I just can't play it. I practiced it for years and I gave up. Those lines. I can never find a good fingering for it with this hand. And then it goes Lucretia. Dude, the new Metallica album, Seabass. I I don't. Well, so I've heard a couple of singles, like two or three, and I just didn't really like them. So I haven't really liked their music in a while. But I think it's cool if people like it. I just, to me, it sounds really contrived. Like their riffs and their like vocals and stuff, where they're like, yeah, this will make a good type of song, but it's not actually super good. So it's not really that I want them to sound like their old stuff, because they clearly are never gonna do that. But the last song I thought of theirs that was good was "Moth into the Flame," and that was like a double album, and I literally thought that was the only good song. You know, I just thought it sounded like them, but it sounded original, and I was like, yeah, man, this is a banger. But maybe sometimes I have to get used to things if it's new, but I don't really like it. But I've only listened to the singles, so. But I don't plan on getting it. I mean, you can stream it, I guess. But dude, with them, like, it's all about their. To me, it's like Kill 'Em All to the Black Album. That's my favorite Metallica, of course, but that's kind of normal. Except some people don't like the Black Album, and I get it, but I like it. I think it's kick ass. And they had one. I think "The Day That Never Comes" is a track that came out on Death Magnetic. I think that's a great track. Like, I think that's a banger. But and actually, that most of that album I think is actually pretty good. But you know, the thing with that album is that they ruined the production because it was the whole Noise Wars thing, and so the production quality sounds terrible. But you can find online, you can find people that have like remixed it where it sounds good, and like when I listen to it like that, even though it's like compressed audio over YouTube or whatever, I think it's a pretty dang good album. But I really don't get the music they write really anymore. I'm just like, you know, I'm all for them doing whatever they want to do. Like, I think they deserve that 100%. So if they're happy, I'm happy for them. But I'm not gonna buy their album. I'm sure they'll be okay. Also, I can't imagine how hard it is to keep writing music for like 30 years. I mean, maybe you like run out of ideas, you know? Like, it seems pretty challenging. Have you heard it, Seabass? The new album? Yeah, you said that's what I think, man. Like yeah, because I used to feel like I wish they would do those albums. Like I wish they would do that again. But then I was just like, you know what? I bet if they tried, like we probably wouldn't like it. And I was like, really? I should just say those albums are like classic, all time. It's like one of the greatest string of records ever by a group. Like, no doubt. So maybe we should just be pretty happy with that. And like, you can't, the production on those albums, to me, it's so like time stamped. I mean, it'd be hard to make an album that sounded like that today if you could, you know. And I think that's a big part of it, you know. You know, I just said it. An album they made that I actually think is good is Saint Anger. Like, I actually think that's a good album, and if it were a different band, I think people would have liked it a lot better. At the time, I was really not a fan of the whole no solos thing, and I thought that was BS. But I don't really care about solos as much as I used to. I mean, I like them melodically, but I used to be into solos as like a spectacle, and nowadays I'm just not interested in that. I'm actually kind of bored. So that doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I still think it's kind of dumb because they were totally just. It was like it's like what everyone was doing at that time. Nobody was playing solos at that time, you know. So I think that's pretty stupid. Like they don't need to do that kind of stuff. But I actually think those songs are pretty interesting, to be honest. And the production is kind of raw and all that kind of stuff. I think the snare drum sound is pretty stupid, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't ruin it for me. Like, if I was Lars, I would have just flipped the little switch that does turn the snares, that does make the snares be on the drum, but, you know, whatever. You get used to it pretty fast. You know, I saw, right now, man, what I'm doing is, I'll show you. I'm doing some tech. So, I don't like to spend money on strings, because I'm cheap. Strings are not even that expensive. But, you know, the bass strings, they wear out after some time. So, when I wind them, you can see on the 6th string, I wind as much as I possibly can. The other two I've done. So, you see on the top tuner, the 4th string, rather, that's only wound a couple times because I just moved it down. But the 6th, I don't know if you can see. Sorry. The 6th string is wound like a bunch of times, like 8 times. So I wind it as much as I can, and then when my strings start to go dead, I unwind it all the way, and then I move it down. And then I retie it and cut it off, so I have this much new string, and it helps. You just get a little longer out of your bass strings. So I'll put on new basses, I'll do that, and then I will get an extra several days, maybe, out of the basses. It doesn't make them sound like brand new, but they definitely have some more life. And then after that, I'll just change them. But only the basses, not the trebles. A lot of people don't know that. The trebles, they don't go dead. In fact, they will sound better. Like, I have trebles on some of my guitars that have been on there for like 5 years. And they sound freaking banging. So I won't ever change them unless like one breaks or if I just want to try another string. But it's a mistake a lot of people make. They change all their strings right before they have a big performance, and that's fine for your bass strings, but what you're going to have in the trebles is you're going to have trebles that sound like garbage because the trebles need some time to break in, so they sound new and kind of snappy and like plasticky. Especially some brands are really bad about that. Some brands of treble strings, like when you put them on, they sound god awful terrible, and you just have to play on them for several days, and then they'll start to sound nice. But I've seen a lot of people do that, and it always kind of surprises me. I'm just like, change your basses, man. Don't change your trebles. That's not helping you. Change your basses for sure, yeah, without a doubt, but not the trebles. And the trebles, like, when you change your basses, it makes the trebles sound better. So they sound new, but It's not because they've changed, just because they're, the strings all work together. And then I try to do this after I practice so that they have time to stretch out before I play again. If you change your strings and then you practice, it's going to be miserable. They're never going to be in tune. So I do it after I practice, and then ideally, like, at least the night before. Like a performance or whatever, at least one night, maybe 2 nights before, change the bass strings. And then I do use these little beaties. You just run the string through, I don't know if you can see, you just run the string through them. And the first time it was years ago, first time I ever saw someone use these, I was like, why are you using those? And he said, well, they're supposed to make the guitar sound better. And I said, oh, does it? Do they? And he goes, I don't know, I can't tell. So I thought, oh, okay. So then, like 10 years later, I tried them and I was like, oh my God, they actually do make the guitar sound better. And that homeboy should have known. Like, I don't know why he said that. It was Paul LeBlanc, Sebastian. He was like, well, I don't know. But, like, no, if you have a 6-hole bridge, if you have a 12-hole bridge, it doesn't matter. You don't probably need them. But if you have a 6-hole bridge like this guitar has, man, they definitely make it sound better. Ryan Mulqueen. Bro, how are you, man? How about that Kono? Dude, Ryan Mulqueen, I have yellow fever, dude. That's how I feel about the Kono. I'm freaking obsessed with it. So, when I go to bed at night, I think, if I can just fall asleep, when I wake up, I can play that guitar. That's what I think. And then when I wake up, I think, if I can just feed my cats and make coffee, I can play that guitar. And then that's what happens. So I love it, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. It totally grabbed me and it wouldn't let go. So, but you know who had a Kono? It was Guthrie. Guthrie had a Kono. Yeah, he had quite nice things to say about it. He got his Kono for free from Daddy Kono. Daddy Kono was like, "Hey, will you play my Maestro model guitar? If I gave you one." And Guthrie was like, "Okay." Oh, I'm a nerd, Yusuf. Don't worry about it. I'm just, little things here and there you pick up. So. Like, I work so hard at sound production, any little thing that gives me an advantage, I'm like, oh yeah. And then they they do add up over time. But I think it's mainly for you as a player. It's not as much, I've never heard a player and been like, oh, he uses those little beads. Like, it's just it's so you feel good. Like you're getting the most out of it. That's what I think about it. So, because you're a nerd, that's what it is. You're being a nerd. So, that's all. I'm a pro. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I have a friend that lives in China, and she's a really good guitarist. But she doesn't think that she is. And one time she asked me about something. It was like stretching or something. And she was like, how do you deal with this? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that's a thing. And I was like, well, I do this exercise and I do this exercise, and every day I do this, and then Sometimes if I'm working something, I'll do this and this and this, and I said all this stuff, and then she wrote back and she was like, "Oh, so you mean like practice it like a professional?" And I was like, I guess like that's what I would do. So if that's what you want to call it. That's fine. Those words aren't too important to me. Like professional, amateur, I don't. It's like play your instrument, Oh, Seabass, this live stream is brought to you by. Not brought to you by Strings by Mail, but I love them, so I have no problem saying order your stuff from them. Yeah, I probably don't need it, but it's just in case you get the whip thing happening. That's why I do it. So I mean, I take care of my guitars, but playing, I'll put little nicks and dings in them, and I don't really. I mean, I try not to. I just it happens. Like, I'm super careful with the guitar. Like, I don't bring stuff over it, like your phone or a cup of coffee or whatever. But if you're playing and you put a nick in it, like, I mean, that doesn't bother me. But I don't like the whip thing from the string. That bothers me. I think your guitar has one or two of those from Johannes, doesn't it? Like, it was like that when you got it, if I remember. So that's mainly why I use that thing. Because, dude, sometimes on strings, like, you can swear you have it tied, and it just does that. Yeah, Ryan, I think that's what he said. He said it was, like, one of the first ones. And, dude, I think it's a great guitar, man. I need to look at the bracing inside because I haven't done that. Gabriel said it's a Spanish fan, but there's definitely stuff going on. And yeah, there's definitely other stuff. I mean, immediately when I first played it, I was like, yeah, there's extra bracing going on. But this is baby Kono, it's Sakurai Kono. It's not Daddy Kono. But I think the sound is really similar. In fact, I think Guthrie is playing his Kono on that Mexico performance in the 80s because it sounds like this guitar. And even through the like crappy recording and like the videotape audio, I'm totally convinced he's playing the Kono. I don't like, I haven't compared rosettes or anything. I don't know for a fact. But after I had this guitar, and then I was actually playing the Handel Allemande that he plays on that recording, and I was like, yeah, he was playing on the Kono. So, dude, they're freaking great guitars. And I got this guitar at such a good price, it was stupid. Like, I couldn't pass it up. I think this guitar is easily worth twice what I paid for it. There were other guitars. I wasn't even trying to buy a guitar. I was doing some recording at Gabriel's, and one of these was one of the guitars I played, and there were other guitars that were twice as expensive, and they weren't as good as this one, at least not for me. So, and then I talked the guy down even further. He was actually a really nice dude. He gave me a great price because I was just like, I'm gonna play the shit out of this guitar, so it's gonna live a good life if you help me out. And the guy did. He was really. I don't know him. One of Gabriel's clients. He was very nice about it. So I appreciated it. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Someone just messaged me about mine. Messaged you about. What do you mean, Seabass? About your guitar? Hi, Chappie. Do you want to say hi, Chappie? Do you want to say hi? You feel like being on the stream? But that's not for you. It's for this. Yeah, it's for this.
say hi to the nice people? Be friendly? You want to be friendly? Say hi? Say hi. Say hi, Sebastian. Hi, Yusuf. Hi, Ryan. Say, if you come over and see me, I will run and hide because I'm very shy. But I can say hi like this. I can say hi like this. This is Veronica. Yeah. She's my girl. And Chappie's around here somewhere. There's Chappie. That's your brother. You want to say hi? You said hi yesterday. Is that enough? Chappie says, everybody join my OnlyFans. Chappie says, check out my OnlyFans for candid pics. Oh my gosh, I think that's funny. What kind of cat food I use? If you want, you can tell them like Jello or something funny. Actually, I use like this special kidney food from the vet. So it has corn in it, which some people say are not good. It is not good for cats. But the vet, I mean, they say he has to be on it because he had like some kind of stones, and like he I had to take him to a vet several times. He like couldn't urinate because it was blocked, and it was a kind of a big deal. So they think whatever food he was on, he was allergic to, and then it built up. They said this happens in cats, especially male cats, but they don't always know. But it can happen in female cats too. So if you ever see Evie like trying to pee and nothing's coming out, like that's what's going on. So you should take her to the vet, and they'll probably, or you could actually probably just try this urinary cat food. So, but they just get cat food. Yeah, I don't want to spoil them too much, so they just get regular old cat food. Isn't that right? But you guys like it. You like your food. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I guess I'm about to sign off. I made a cool outro screen if you want to see it. It looks like this. Don't worry, I'll come back. Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Hey, you just said I was a pro. I think based on this outro screen, he must be right. So, okay, well, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. And love you guys, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good day or night, whatever it is where you live. You want to get in there? Okay. Here you go. You get in there. Just don't chew these. Toodles. Toodles. That's funny. Okay. I'm going to my cool outro screen now. Ooh. Wow. And do you hear the background music?